I'm Alex, and today I'm going to show you how to make my Grandma Bonnie's famous recipe for dream cookies. I remember these cookies being the absolute perfect cookies, just like my Grandma Bonnie. So when I think about my grandma, these cookies immediately come to mind. They were her signature recipe and one of my favorite treats growing up. These cookies are similar to a shortbread, but they are a little bit different because they have a secret ingredient. That ingredient is baker's ammonia. So baker's ammonia is great for getting really crisp cookies and crackers, which is why it's sometimes used today. So it's kind of like the old school baking powder. I guess it makes sense that my grandma used it. The only downside of it is its horrible smell. I'm not kidding, it smells really bad. Don't smell it. Oh. You want to make sure you're creaming the butter and sugar together long enough until it gets more fluffy in texture. All of the other ingredients in this cookie are pretty classic, and I wanted to find a special way to honor my Grandma Bonnie and the other special women in my life. If you were to look up like the definition of a grandma, it would be my Grandma Bonnie. She's just the cutest person ever. Grandma Bonnie exemplifies exactly what it means to be a strong woman. She's someone who is hardworking, she loved what she did, she made time to raise her family, and she made some bomb cookies too. What's so special about these cookies is how delicate and light they are, but still crispy and buttery and just, they're the best. When you're shaping these cookies, they're actually gonna be pretty small. My grandma specifies that the dough should be no bigger than a walnut. Very specific, Grandma. You can pop that dough ball right on a greased baking sheet and then use the back of a measuring cup and press lightly into the ball of dough. Now it's time for toppings. My grandma would always put 3 little chocolate chips right in the center of the dough. Now, it seems like there's not a lot of surface to work with here, but just squeeze them on. I feel so lucky to have a job that I absolutely love, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of the amazing women who encouraged me to chase my dreams. Now, these cookies are pretty tiny, but that just means you can eat a lot more of them. I love celebrating the strong women in my life, and Women's History Month is just an extra excuse to celebrate all that girl power. There's nothing like these cookies. They're rich and buttery, but still light and crisp. Brings me right back to Grandma's house. I know my Grams is watching this right now, and I just want to say I love you so much, and I hope I made you proud. This one's for you, Grandma. So legend has it, this was actually used to wake women up if they had swooned. Trust me, it smells that bad.
Hi, I'm Maria, and this is my recipe for aquarium cookies. So I was looking on the internet and found this really cool cookie called shaka shaka cookies. Shaka shaka is onomatopoeia for shaking noise in Japanese. So when you shake something and make noise, that is shaka shaka. The person made 2 cookies glued together and put sprinkles inside. So when you shake it, you can see the sprinkles inside moving, and it was very cute. The recipe though looks very complicated. They used a special kind of sugar called palatinose, which is not sold in regular grocery stores. So I wanted to make it, but make it very simple so everyone can make at home. That's something I always wanted to include in my video. That's something everyone can make at home. That's the great thing about Tasty, I think. And making this cookie was very fun. I made this video for Tasty Junior initially, and I had the opportunity to work with kids. It was very fun to cook with little girls, especially the child actor I worked with. She was so impressed. She told me I could be a chef in the future and I should open a restaurant. And it was very cute and sweet. I was thinking maybe I could use store-bought candy and melt it. There is also another cookie called a stained glass cookie, which is very popular. So I used the Jolly Rancher instead of the special sugar and put 2 cookies together with white chocolate so it tastes better. When I was reading comment, I saw some audience said Jolly Rancher is too hard, so if you bite into it, you might break your teeth. But when you bake it, Jolly Rancher spread very thinly. So don't worry about breaking your teeth. You won't break your teeth. I'm looking out for you. This video became viral and I saw a lot of people make it. I also saw some people made it for a bake sale, and it's a great feeling when someone actually make it and have fun with it. I think also Shaka Shaka Cookies is a cute name. for Japanese cookie, but if you translate it, it's become shake shake cookie, which is not so catchy. It was our general manager, Ashley, who was sitting next to me and said, oh, that looks like an aquarium. So that's why I named it. So don't be afraid of breaking your teeth. It's actually tasty, kids loved it. And you can customize it. You can put love letter in it and make it fancy. Make it fancy.
Hey, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to show you how to make my cookies and ice cream dome cake. So this recipe I came up with based on two things. One, I wanted to make some sort of a dome, and two, I wanted to use Oreos on the outside to make a really cool visual. So I knew this recipe would naturally be cookies and cream flavored because I was using the Oreos, but I wasn't quite sure which middle of the thing I wanted to do. Could have done a cheesecake, I could have done an ice cream cake, but I decided to go with ice cream cake because it was kind of new, and also I just really love cookies and cream ice cream cake. That's my favorite kind of cake. It's what I have on my birthday usually. Fun fact. So I melted down the cream center in order to put it back into the ice cream base that we're gonna make, which, I might add, is my favorite part of the Oreo. Fun fact. Another fun fact. This video is full of fun facts. So the base is made out of more like a whipped cream and a sweetened condensed milk, and it still freezes up and holds up like an ice cream would, but it's just a little lighter, I would say, less like creamy than an ice cream would be. The crushed up cookies will go in there also. When you're whipping the cream, you want to make sure you get it to the point where it's thick, but don't whip it too much because then it'll separate. So based on the size of your bowl, it might vary how many cookies you put in the actual bowl itself, but don't worry, just put them in until they line the full bowl. Now, some people might want to line their bowl with plastic wrap in order to get the dome cake out easier, but you actually don't need it. It will pop out on its own. The tricky part about this recipe was when I was testing it, sometimes the cookies would float up and not stay in place. So the batter had to be thick enough to be able to hold the cookies down. Then once you make your ice cream base, you'll dump that right on top of the cookies and spread it evenly to cover all the cookies. This isn't like a traditional ice cream. This is more like a frozen mousse kind of thing, but it's super delicious. And then super easy. Just pop it in the freezer and wait until it's done. You don't want to pull this out early because you will have a big mess. And also you just really want to make sure it's frozen solid so you'll be able to pop it out of the bowl easily. Just flip it over on some sort of a board and wait until it kind of loosens up and it should fall right out. And then you'll have this beautiful Oreo-lined ice cream cake. The most important part of this was making sure I nailed that beautiful outside uniform layer, and to say, it looked pretty cool. Also, what's nice is that the cookies kind of soften up because of the ice cream, so you'll be able to cut into this pretty easily. I think this recipe is great for like a kid's birthday party because what kid doesn't like ice cream cake? And also it's so fun looking. Make it for your birthday party, whether you're 3 or 96. I'm sure you'll still love it.
Hi, I'm Rie, and today I'm going to show you how to make my recipe for multi-flavored Skillet cookie. So this recipe was kind of assigned to me by Alvin. So he made a multi-flavor sheet pan pie video, and we as a team wanted to see what else can we make multi-flavor. I wanted to make something easy, like I didn't want to make each flavor from scratch. So I wanted to make one cookie dough and add in different flavors. Using brown sugar is very important in order to give the cookie that chewy texture that I like. And also using a little white sugar helps giving a crispy texture. It's good to combine both. It's important to use 2 types of sugar to make this American style cookie. I feel like chocolate chip cookie is very unique to America. I feel like this chocolate chip cookie is a little bit rustic shape. Each individual cookie is different shape and kind of, I don't know, like I feel like it's imperfect, but this imperfection make it perfect. We kind of came up with simple flavor combinations that everyone likes, like chocolate chip cookie and peanut butter and white chocolate macadamia nuts. which is something that's underrated, I think. I think it's the best multi-flavor skillet cookie recipe out there. I don't know how many out there. I use the parchment paper to bake so I can take it out and transport it to a plate. But if you just want to serve in a skillet, you can do so. You don't need to use the parchment paper. Each cookie is next to each other based on how well their flavor profile combine. And of course, everyone wants to eat the middle part because you can eat whole flavor. So each of 6 different flavors all in one cookie. Also, I cut it in pieces so you can enjoy different flavor combinations like chocolate chip cookie with peanut butter cookie and white chocolate macadamia cookie with double chocolate cookies. And I think this cookie does a good job of capturing a lot of different characters. It's difficult to make perfect cookie. Like if you have American chocolate chip cookie, it kind of has a crack and chocolate chip is sometimes not evenly distributed. It may have a dent somewhere, but it's cute in a way. A whole imperfection makes a great cookie perfect. It's not something you can intend it to make it that way, but it happens that way, but it's perfect in that way. Not sure if you get it. I feel like I'm talking about cookie philosophy. I don't know, I think you just try it, make it, and maybe you understand what I'm talking about. That's what Alex do.
We're good. We have so many things for this.
Okay.